Hi, this is Mike. So today I'd kind of like to give you a roundup of the different VR devices out there, and there are others, but these are the ones that you may already be familiar with or being promoted by some larger companies. Gee, wonder who they are. And that would be the Google Cardboard and the Mattel ViewMaster. Both of these have their merits. Google Cardboard can be very low cost, very easy to assemble if you need to assemble it, and more importantly, there's a full Google Cardboard ecosystem around it. The disadvantages, it is made out of cardboard. It's not very comfortable. Yeah, actually not comfortable at all. It doesn't really work with the iPod Touch, which I'll show you right now. It's made for a larger phone, so it doesn't really fit well there. Now, this is the newer Cardboard 2. I think the older version, if you can get one, may be a better fit for it. But the problem is, the screen on the iPod Touch, even though horsepower-wise it's a good one, is smaller. So some of these just really don't fit the phone very well, or the iPod Touch very well. The other thing that's very important, and I've addressed this before, is the IPD, the distance between the pupils. 6 centimeters for this. Now, even though they've shown kids using this, I'm a little concerned because this really isn't the distance for a child. And what happens if you are not matched directly in the middle of the lens is that what they call the fovean, is that the outsides of the lens distort and can even blur, and if you're not completely aligned right in the middle, you can get possibly headaches or even blurriness, which I've discussed before. So that is a problem I have with the cardboard. This unit, on the other hand, well made, very solid plastic like the original. Obviously, as you can tell, the color scheme is similar to that. It's easy to open and get access to where you need to put the phone. But the sad thing is you have to use a special bracket to use it with the iPod Touch. But then if you look, it doesn't really match the eye boxes themselves, the viewing area. It is more limited. So that's going to kind of interfere, and I've actually tried to interfere with the experience because you can actually see the edges. Not really a good fit. And then the most important thing from my perspective is that distance between the eyes is also 6 centimeters and is not adjustable. And plus, I don't think it's very comfortable. Obviously, a little bit more comfortable because there is some rubber here. But for around the nose and that, I find a little difficult. And again, this is made for my head. Children's heads are smaller, so I don't even know if that will be of any effect for them. But again, the strong suit is that it's of hard plastic, has this cool little retro switch, which is nothing more than a capacitance switch. But kind of a neat unit, but I think it's bulky, obviously made for larger heads, larger or older kids. So finally, let's get back to the NEODiVRjr. My reason for designing this was the ability, and I'll take this off for now, is the ability for this to be used with a child in mind, meaning the IPD distance between the eyes is 5.3, which is in between 5 and 5.5, which is what most children have for an IPD. And these nice soft silicone, as I call them, eye tubes, which fit up against the eyes very comfortably. But more importantly, there's very little surface contact. Like these other products, they kind of surround your face. Now, there's a couple of pluses with this. This still gives the child some peripheral, so they're not fully enclosed in the environment, but enough so that they, obviously can concentrate. And the other big plus is the eye box area is made specifically for the smaller screen on the iPod Touch. And because of that, what they see in there is only the screen. So in my opinion, it gives them a more complete experience that's more fitting for a younger child. The other thing is with the Extreme, as mentioned earlier, has the dual mounting system, which still works with the smaller plus the head mount. And also with the grip and shoot Bluetooth handle, which I've talked about before on my show and other areas. It's actually a Bluetooth grip with a trigger. You can use this with their optional adapter for any phone, but I designed the case with it in mind so that literally you can attach it and have a kind of a trigger shoot. So if you're using some type of game that requires you to press a button. Instead of using the capacitant button up here on the top, you can use the trigger here. It also has a plus and minus, or whatever you want to program them for other options in a game. And then it also has what I think a pretty cool feature, and that is the ability to remove the bottom, which has a tripod mount. So you can replace the handle with this, and then attach anything with a tripod bolt in it, like that. So you could use your own handle design or mount it to anything you want and still have that experience. Then finally, let me jump back to the actual grip and shoot. You can get back to the experience of what I call the EAVR by simply, and there will be a separate bracket for this, but it is magnetically based, attaches securely into a mount. It attaches to the side lightning port, and gives you the ability to walk, crawl, sit, even lie down in a virtual reality world. And as mentioned in my fireside chat, if you've already listened to that, this will be very important, I think, for physical therapy, for children or even adults who are confined to a limited space, because then you can replace your room with a different environment that you can walk, lean, crouch down, whatever, provide other exercises and motivations of trying to find things within the VR space. So I really hope that we can progress with that, and this is the first step with that. As you can see, it's very easy to connect to it. So there's a lot of versatility that I've built into this device, and again, it is very low cost and made specifically for kids. All right, well, thank you. And if this is a video you're watching before the holidays, I wish you the best and happy holidays.